Alrighty. Hello, my name is Tess Grossman, and I use they, them pronouns. I have gray glasses, cochlear implants on both ears, and a Palestinian flag pin on a blue jacket. Today, I'm excited to talk about cheat codes for all, how gaming shortcuts can level up both accessibility and fun. All slides have a background drawing with artsy curves and circles that include a wheelchair and a forearm crutch. So let's clear something up. I am a cheater. But hold on, not that kind of cheating. We're talking video games here, not your romantic relationships. Cheating in games, I love it. It's a victimless crime. I'm not taking anything from developers. In fact, it can be a net positive. One-shotting a boss, duplicating items, or supercharging my characters. Cheating makes the experience fun. Before we dive deeper into this presentation, let me clarify 2 things. First, this presentation is strictly about single-player games. We won't be covering MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV or MOBAs like League of Legends or any games with a competitive focus. Cheating in those spaces is a more complex topic, especially when it comes to accessibility. The goal here is to explore how one specific angle on cheating and how it can enhance the single-player experience. Slide includes a drawing of me before I cut my hair 3 days ago. Oops, standing triumphantly with flames in the background. By definition, cheating is about gaining an advantage in a game. But if you think about it, guides, tutorials, and walkthroughs all fall under the same concept, and they're essential for accessibility and building game communities. As a developer, trying to eliminate cheating in a single-player games for the sake of fairness is a highly subjective idea. It can actually limit accessibility. So I ask, if I'm playing Stardew Valley or Baldur's Gate 3, and choose to cheat, who is it really harming? As players, we're still paying to participate in an experience, even if it's not exactly as the developer envisioned. And let's be honest, is glitching through walls in Elden Ring or skipping trials in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time exactly how developers envisioned the games being played? Probably not, but the community thrives on these unexpected moments. In fact, we even celebrate them, creating speedrunning records that reward players for discovering and using these glitches, skips, and clips. So blocking cheating may inadvertently block entire communities from finding joy in your game. Let's talk about guides. What do they provide and how do they help us cheat? Guides are often created by the community and shared on platforms like Steam, Reddit, game journals, etc. And they're invaluable for cognitive accessibility. They provide helpful hints, giving players that crucial first step so they can tackle complex challenges without feeling overwhelmed by an excessive cognitive load. With that small nudge, players can still enjoy solving steps 2, 3, and 4 on their own, avoiding unnecessary frustration. Guides also come in handy when returning to a game after a break. Forgetting how to open up an in-game journal, switch weapons, or interact with objects happens to the best of us. I've definitely had my share of accidentally punching an NPC when I meant to pick up an item, all because I mixed up the A and B buttons on the Xbox controller. Slide has a drawing of a magnifying glass over a treasure map. Guides are key to building strong community engagement. Thriving game communities are made up of players who share tips, strategies, and resources, dedicating time to write guides, provide feedback, and find new approaches to challenges. These interactions create more welcoming spaces for disabled players, supporting both the growth and longevity of the community. Word of mouth has a significant influence in gaming. Just consider the impact of popular streamers. Even if developers might see certain forms of cheating, including guides, as incorrect, this type of community attention ultimately benefits the game overall. A supportive community lets people like me, who are deaf, share strategies for sound-related challenges. This often comes from non-deaf players who approach things empathetically, rethinking ways to solve problems. When I ask for help, it opens the doors for others to do the same. Sharing strategies and seeking help and guidance builds belonging, and in turn, asking for help is just another way of creating guides. It strengthens the community piece by piece. Now let's talk tutorials. Tutorials often intersect with guides in terms of accessibility. There's a growing community of disabled gamers sharing tutorial videos and personal experiences, helping others find new approaches to games. Unlike guides, which are more informational, tutorials are interactive, providing in-depth, step-by-step instructions for character builds, puzzle solving, achievement hunting, or control setups. Personally, I love video tutorials. When I'm stuck on a particularly difficult boss, I turn to YouTube to see how others manage to conquer it. I met with countless creative and imaginative strategies, and yes, some are a bit more cheating. Both guides and tutorials are invaluable for accessibility and building community. This slide shows a drawing of a hand hovering over the press play buttons like those found on tutorial videos. But what happens when guides and tutorials aren't enough? What if the game lacks accessibility options you need? The truth is, it's nearly impossible for developers to make a game that is 100% accessible. Focusing on specific disability isn't effective when there are over 2 billion disabled people globally, a figure that's likely underestimated. No studio can account for every single disability and its unique intersection. Disability is often multifaceted. That's why, as developers, the goal should be to create an accessible experience. Shifting from a disability-centered to an accessibility-centered approach opens games up for a richer experience that more people can enjoy. So if achieving 100% accessibility is out of reach, what can we do? We cheat. Like guides and tutorials, cheating empowers players to adjust the games to meet their needs, whether by becoming immune to hits, getting max health, or one-shotting a boss. It's another way to customize the experience and make gaming more accessible for everyone. For the developers who might say, but we already have an easy mode. Here's the truth. Easy mode is a myth. What's easy for one player might still be difficult for another. For instance, imagine someone with mobility challenges. They may have trouble moving quickly in a fast-paced game with tough, high-health enemies due to muscle spasms or cramps. This player might desire the option to slow down the game or pause it, allowing time for recovery. An easy mode might offer the opportunity for slowing things down, but also reduce enemy strength and health, contradicting the desired experience they're looking for. They want high intensity, just at a slower pace. Easy mode typically reflects the developer's idea of what makes the game easier, like fewer enemy spawns or more upgrade opportunities. But as I demonstrated in my example, those adjustments don't always align with the individual accessibility needs. This slide features a drawing of 3 game modes: easy, normal, and challenge, with the cursor over easy. If easy mode is a myth, then what is the answer? Cheating. Cheating gives players the freedom to adapt the game to their specific accessibility needs. They can slow down the gameplay while still experiencing the intensity of the battles. To the pearl-clutching designers who feel that cheating ruins the experience, I ask, what are you really losing? Are we so attached to our own ideas or vision that we can't allow for other ways of engagement? Cheating is a legitimate way to enjoy a game. Even without it, no 2 players experience a game exactly the same way, even in linear games. Cheating is a net positive. The player is still playing, sharing in discussions, creating guides and tutorials, and expanding the community. This slide features a drawing of the Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda with sparkles shimmering around it. To close the presentation, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Players don't start a new game with the intent to cheat. Cheating often arises as a way to reduce barriers and meet specific challenges. I don't launch a game and immediately look for cheats, guides, or tutorials. I do that when it becomes necessary. Cheating then, by extension, becomes necessary in games. It's community-created accessibility. As a game developer, I believe easy mode isn't the answer. It's a flawed solution that doesn't fully address accessibility needs. Instead, we should embrace cheating as a customizable tool, empowering players to shape their experiences. Thank you all so much for having me here today. And remember, cheating is good. The final slide shows a drawing of me proudly eyeing the word cheater with play fair in the background, casually ignored. If the game state is unfair, why is the expectation that we should play fair? Thank you.